Hello, Facebook world, YouTube land, and Instagram fam. Hope you all came over to join for the interview and music session tonight. I have with me probably my cousin. I
Huh?
don't know. We'll explain that in a minute. But this is, nope, that way is Roger Dale. And
Hey,
I'm so excited to have you with me tonight, Roger.
thank
Can't
you.
wait to hear everything about you and what you've got going on. And I'll go ahead and explain to the audience what I meant by you might be my cousin. Is we discovered I discovered when I came across Roger that he is from Pembroke, North Carolina, as well as a Lumbee Indian,
Yep.
Lumbee Pride, and I am as well. So I know people, you may be shocked, blonde hair and all, but yes, I promise you, I am a Lumbee Indian proudly. My family all comes from. You look at these dark eyes. That's mine. There we go. Our eyes look alike. um, but yeah, we were just talking about that offline before we got on here, and Roger was born and raised in Pembroke. I was not, but I spent considerable time there. My mom, my uncle, grandparents, everybody born, raised in Pembroke. And so I would go for summers. And I would go and stay with my grandmother a lot in the summertime. And we used to, well, I guess it's still said even though Pembroke has grown quite a bit because of the university, it's still a very, very small town.
Yeah,
Like, you blink and you're going to miss it.
yeah, and it's
I mean,
feel even with the development of the university and businesses, the economic development, it still has that. Every time
feel
small town welcomes you in, feel everybody's like, oh, and how's DC? How is life? We ain't forgot about you. So it's really refreshing to go home. I love going home. I don't get to go a lot, but I always love going.
Oh, I know. I love going there as well. I haven't. Well, we went. I want to say back in November. Yeah, I think back in November. I went for a few days, and it just brings back such good memories.
Yeah,
Such great memories of childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing like it. And
the
food
is amazing.
I mean, where else can you go to a buffet and get fat back on the buffet?
And collard greens, because you talking about Fuller's.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, I love that place.
If Morgan is tuned in, Morgan, we're talking about you and your family's place, because everybody knows about Fuller's. If you to Robeson County and especially Pembroke and you don't stop by Fuller's, you have done yourself a disservice. Okay.
Yes.
Cuisine on a buffet. It's amazing.
It is. I'm going to put it in the comments here for people to see that.
Their food, and it's a staple, It's part of who we are as a Lumbee people, and everything that they showcase. It is what I grew up on. My grandma, my mom, they still cook like that. I don't much because I'm living by myself, so I can't. You got So, but yeah, that is so awesome. I love this.
My husband heard us mention Fuller's, and he just walked in. What?
I'm ready to go now.
Oh, you're ready to go now? We're going to take off and go just to go to Fuller's.
Yeah, man.
It is. I mean, it is amazing. I'm telling you, just like, we can't do it justice enough talking about it.
Yeah, you got to go have a bite.
Exactly. It is. Yeah. It's like grandma's cooking and putting it out there on the buffet.
Yeah, because I always say, I tell people, nobody can cook collards like my grandma Beck. My grandma Eula passed a few years ago. She could cook collards too now, don't get me wrong. But something about my grandma's collards, they remind me of home. And that on Fuller's, their menu and the buffet, it's literally home on a buffet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the cornbread.
Heck yeah, man.
People, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, with fried cornbread patties.
Yeah, you got to go try it. You got to either go down to my hometown and try it, or hit me up. I'll give you the recipe to make a real mean cornbread fritter.
Yeah, it's
we call it cornbread.
Yeah, it's cornbread. when they're fried in the little patties, I always call them cornbread patties.
Yeah.
And I remember begging my grandma like almost every weekend, Grandma, please, will you fry me some cornbread? I mean, if I had some fat back, some cornbread, some field peas, and some corn.
You were on side. That was
That's
it.
all I needed.
Yep.
That's all I needed. And there's something different about the field peas too that come from down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's truly it. I only, truthfully, I don't have field peas unless I'm home. My grandma cooked them, or mama, or my aunt, somebody in my family. Right when I'm up here.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I've never even tried to cook them, and I'm a pretty good cook, honestly. If I didn't go to law school, I was going to go to culinary arts school, but I've never cooked field peas because I just don't feel like I could do it justice.
Yeah. Now, Grandma, when she moved to Western North Carolina, she would still go home to get field peas.
Yeah.
And put them in the freezer at home because it just wasn't the same. Or if any of the relatives come and visit Grandma, they'd always bring her some field peas and some corn. Would bring her cornmeal because you couldn't get the cornmeal anywhere except there.
Yep. Yeah, I know exactly what cornmeal you're talking about too, because my mom used to do that for me when I first moved up here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't find it nowhere. And it's like, you're not going to. When you're here, or I'll get it for you. And even when I go home now, when I went home 2 weeks ago, my grandma was like, don't forget to get your vegetables. And my stepdad sent me back with a watermelon because the watermelons up here are crap, y'all. I grew up on a farm, so I could literally run out to the field on both sides, grandma on my mom's side, my dad's side, to get a watermelon if I wanted it. But up here, these watermelons are like wide and they're not ripe and they're not juicy. When I go home, my stepdad's like, don't forget your watermelon.
It's different. It's different. Now, what community did you grow up in?
Evans Crossroads. So it's on the outskirts of Pembroke. It's kind of in between Pembroke and Maxton.
Okay.
Very rural, very country. I loved it. I still miss it. So it was a really wholesome growing up, like not just childhood. And even when I go home now, I'm minded to keep myself grounded, and just a beautiful life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't realize it until I got away, because when I was growing up, I was like, man, I can't wait to get grown to get out of here. And now I'm like, man, if I could just get home.
Isn't that the way it always is?
Wild.
Isn't that, that's a country song right there.
See?
Yeah, exactly. But now my great grandmother, my grandma didn't have a house there by the time I was old enough to remember going there. They had long since moved, but my great grandmother still lived there. And then all of my grandmother's brothers and sisters. So we had plenty of places to go when we went home. And, I would usually me and my sister would usually stay with my great grandma. She lived right off of Main Street, like almost just like 2 streets back from Fuller's, or 1 street back from Fuller's, 2 streets back from Main Street. And so, I mean, like right there. And, one of the fondest memories I had when we were just little things, me and my sister would always, we'd go to the Piggly Wiggly for Grandma. We would take the Coke bottles, walk to the Piggly Wiggly, and change them in for her snuff.
Get out of here. That is too cool.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I remember that. And it was so funny because, here was 2 little blonde-headed girls walking around Pembroke. We did stick out. But everybody knew who we were. They knew we were Miss Stella's grandchildren.
There you go.
So it was just, I don't know, just such fun times. Fun times.
I can relate 100%. All these memories, they're flooding my brain.
Oh, yeah. And, I don't think kids nowadays have all of that like we did growing up.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
the world is too, and it's no fault of their parents, I don't think. It's just the world is too full of technology now.
Yeah, everything's at your fingertips, because when we grew up, I was, I think in 9th grade before I got my first computer, and it was one of those archaic,
yeah.
And I was so excited, and like I was 2 weeks ago, and my nieces and my nephews, I'm looking around, they're just on their phones. I'm like, this is wild, man.
Oh yeah, we went outside and played and used our imagination, and
well, your mom You go outside and do something. I'm tired. You're bored, and go outside and explore.
Exactly. Or depending on the time of the year, we were shucking corn or snapping beans or, whatever was coming out of the garden.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
I was,
when we were little, we thought that was fun.
yeah. And then when you start getting a teenager, you're like, are we finished yet? How many more ears of corn I gotta shut to get up out of here?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. But then Grandma was real quick to remind us, you sure do like eating it.
There you go.
You sure do like eating it, so you can help fix it. Like, all right, you got me there. I can't argue then. So, all right, well, that's enough food talk. It's made me hungry now.
So that's a lot of Lumbee talk too, because that literally was my whole entire life.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. Oh my gosh, you people just don't understand. Y'all don't understand why we are having to reminisce like this, because it's real talk.
And when you meet someone this is what I tell people, even up here in DC, it's something about, and other tribes probably feel like this, but when I see someone, I almost instantly know if they're Lumbee. Like I'm like, where are you from?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do.
Who's your people? Oh, yeah, I knew you was Lumbee.
Yep. I knew what that
knew.
Might have been like the third question I asked you or something. I knew right away.
I was blown away, and that's why I was like, yeah, she's good people.
Yeah.
I knew, so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I knew right away you were. It's like, I can pick out my people. I know. Even though I don't fully look it.
Hey, look.
It's in here.
That's right. And that's what
it's flowing through my veins, and it's right here.
And it's our culture. The culture is not external. It doesn't.
Oh yeah.
What the stories you just told, that is who we are as a people. It's all about culture and family and the tight knit that we have, the tight knit community.
Absolutely.
We're never too far gone from home. Like we aren't.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. And it's I'm not going to say that other people don't love like we do, but there's just a certain kind of family pride.
Yeah, it's a special love. I tell people that all the time because
it really is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really is. I just I hope other people have it like that. It's just very abundant with us, and I love that. Well, let's talk about your music.
Yeah.
Before we get too far off course here, just spending our whole hour talking about Pembroke, which we could easily do, but we'll just save that for another time.
Yeah.
Now, were you going to play tonight?
Oh no, I didn't bring.
Okay.
I only have I can tell you my story a little bit.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
How I have come back to the country scene. So growing up, I grew up in the church, and I would sing in church all the time. My mom was a youth choir director. Both my grandparents, when mama couldn't go, they made me go. I would just, get up there and sing a song or a few, and I always wanted to go to singing. So I did music, and I did music throughout high school. I was in band. I played trumpet, mellophone, French horn. Like I played brass instruments, so I read music. And I did musical theater. And then when I graduated, kind of was like, so what do? You hear these stories about these artists that struggle forever and a day. And I grew up loving country music, that it still is. That's why I'm doing it. But growing up, I would love Tim McGraw and Kenny Chesney, all these big singers. And my mom was like, well, baby, this takes a lot of sacrifice. You have to struggle. You might not eat. And so that was kind of how I left music. And I said, well, I know I'm smart, so I got to do something with that. And I just buckled down and went to NC State undergrad. And from there, went to law school because I wanted to be I wanted to help with civil rights and help underrepresented communities because I came from it myself. And that led me to law school. And I've been doing that for about, what's my age, 7th or 8th year. And about 2 years ago, I just had an epiphany. I was like, I love helping people. It's my passion, but it's not where my heart is, and I can't do this forever. And I've always wanted to sing. I just always wanted to sing. And 2 years ago, I took the leap on faith, and I got a vocal coach, and she inspired me to start writing. And that's where the story begins. I started writing last November. I've written over 200 songs.
Wow, you've got quite a catalog then.
Yeah, I write every day pretty much. Some days I write 3, some days 1, sometimes none, a verse.
Yeah.
It varies, but she started that back in November with me, and it just I never thought I could write, right? Like as a songwriter, I'm a great writer in the legal realm, but she told me that I got to give myself a chance, and the first few weeks it might be a struggle, but eventually it'll click, and that's what happened. And my debut single, which was "Tuck Away My Heart," and I think that's how you heard me. That I wrote probably 3 or 4 weeks after she told me I could write, and I wrote 4 of the 5 songs that's about to come out. And matter of fact, my single from down in Tennessee when I was there about 3 weeks ago comes out a month from today. Yeah, that
Yes.
So I'm super excited, and I wrote 4 of the 5 songs, and my buddy, one of my close friends, he wrote the other, and he actually helped co-write some of the other ones too. So and they basically tell my story, and I think everybody's going to get to know me more and get to hear everything about me, you know, how I feel emotionally, but also where I come from physically, you know, what is my walk and what do I feel? So I'm excited about that. And, you know, I'm still trucking along doing law. And like you today, I was, you know, super excited.
Yeah.
It's like walking 2 roads, and just continue to do it until I get a chance to really do music full time. That's my dream. So
Yeah. Well, from what I've heard so far, you need to keep chasing that dream.
I'm definitely chasing this sucker. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like Morgan when he's that song, I'm chasing my like that. Like I in that song because that's how I feel about my country music aspirations now. Because when I went to Nashville to record those 5 songs, it was like something clicked that I've never felt before. It was beyond special. I'd never been there, and there's just something special about Music City.
Yeah.
And now
something just tugs at your heart when you're there that you can't let it go.
About it now, and I'm like, I gotta get there. Like whatever it takes, I gotta make this happen. So
yeah. It's a truly magical place. I mean, it really is, and I don't know, it's indescribable, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not a singer. I can't sing. Lord knows I can't sing. I probably could write if I set my mind to it, because I used to write a lot of poetry. But even not, you know, even being just on this end of the industry, being, you know, in management and doing the interviews and stuff, it's still just, it tugs at you. I mean, if I could talk my husband into it, I would move in a heartbeat. But he doesn't feel it like I do.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be in it to feel that and really understand it.
Yeah.
It really does tug at you. I've known several people that I've interviewed that have went there to record some songs, and within a couple of months they've made the decision to move there.
I'm already there. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I can't say where I work, but I work for a government agency. But right now where my mind is, I'm already like exploring, because I can continue to do my law while I'm dream. And I told my mama today, I just need to be there. Like, you
can even do music law.
Yeah. And I'm a really good writer. So, you know, artists, if you need someone to review anything, I'm your guy. And But I remember growing up.
Hold on just a minute, Roger. Hey, Jovan, welcome again. Jovan is a true, faithful fan of this show, and he is from Scotland.
That is awesome. I want to go there.
Yes, and he is on every single show that I have.
That is awesome. So
I always give him a shout out when he's on here. He is an awesome, faithful follower, fan, virtual friend. So I love when he jumps on here and sees the new talent that's out there. And yeah, he's awesome. So all the way from Scotland tuning in.
So awesome, because I just want to tell you this. I'm very privileged to be sitting here talking to you, because you're probably the first person that reached out to me, and I know more will come, but it's just so assuring that someone like you believe in artists that are on the rise, or they're are grinding. We are working our butts off. Like, you know, and so you're doing the service that you're giving, and the platform is just amazing. And I want to say that
thank you so much. Thank you.
What you're doing.
I love doing it. It started off, it's crazy because it started off as just a hobby, and where it's led me is unreal.
That's amazing.
Unreal. I mean, I think he was the third interview that I did, was Ryan Clark, and now I'm his manager.
Crazy, and he is legit.
Yeah, it's crazy how things happen, how things just kind of fall into place, and that's what it is all about. And that's what I love telling you guys. It's just a matter of the right person at the right time hearing your music.
Yep. Yeah, I believe 100%. I believe you, because I'm interview with you, and I've been like looking at your past interviews. I'm like, this is crazy, y'all.
Oh, thank you. I just have so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
I love doing it. It's so much fun getting to know the people and letting them tell their story and get your story out there, get your music out there. Have people go to Spotify and listen to Roger Dale, and then you end up with new fans. And that's what it takes, is just, growing, is networking and growing that fan base. And you never know who it's going to reach out to.
That's exactly true. I mean, and then, it's crazy that you say that, because when I first moved up here to DC, I couldn't find a job, but I knew that I needed to Yes, wow. I had a law degree and I was licensed. I passed the bar, and I could not get a lead. And I was about to give up and move home. And my mom was like, well, you can't give up. And I said, oh, I can if I wanted, but right. And I'm glad I didn't, because like you just said, it was all about networking. I would just, do jobs, and I would get off work at like 6 o'clock and go to like a forum. It would be like an area of law I had no interest in, but I just need to break in. And that's exactly what it was. It was networking. I got a text one night, and this guy was like, are you still looking for a job? We look for a litigator. And I was like, I don't really want to litigate, but I need to get a job. That was it. And I mean, now I got where I am now because of networking.
Yeah.
That's the same thing, like you just said, for the music industry. It's all about who you know, and not letting your pride take over. Co-writing, collaborating are key.
Oh, yes, very much so.
So I love this, and this is how we network.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd be surprised at what you come up with when you co-write.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, and it's not just about making connections with the people that your co-writer knows, though that is, a plus to it.
Yeah.
But just the results that come out of that collaboration. Alone you might think, and it very well may be true, that your song is great.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have another mind looking at it or adding to it, it just becomes greater.
Yeah, it does. And it's amazing to watch, because Adam, I hope you're watching, Adam, but that's what I'll do. I'll like have a random song that'll come, a hook really, and and then I'll take out my phone, and even if I'm working, I'll just take out my phone. And I'm like, okay, what do I want to say here? And I'll just like maybe do the first verse and the chorus, and then I'll shoot it to him, and it turns into magic, really. We'll talk about it, and I'll say, well, what if we said this before we get to the second verse? And then if we're going to bridge it, we got to have a reason. And that's kind of our dynamic, and it's like you and I talking now. That's how he and I will have a writing session. It'll be talking about life, what's going on, where we're feeling, and then about this song. How do we bring those things that we're going through, into this moment, and if they're meant to be, and reflecting on, why did you feel this when you thought of this hook, and that's what I've been doing. And they come at random, I think anybody songs, I'll be at the gym or I'll be at the grocery store, and it'll just pop in my head. I'll see something like, that's a song. Sometimes don't know what to do with it. It might be 3 months before. Look at Luke Combs. It might be 2 years. I back to it, and I always jot it down. Like I keep this right here. It's my little journal / songwriting book. So I just like jot on all of my ideas.
Every thought.
Every thought,
Every thought, because you never know what thought is going to turn into something magical.
Yeah, and like sometimes when I first started out, Belle was my vocal coach, and she's the one encouraging me to write. And I was like, "This is crap," and she's like, "It's not the best, but don't throw it away."
Yeah,
you might look back on it and say, "I can really spruce this up a bit and make this." So
and turn it into gold.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So many singers and songwriters, they're like, "Man, I thought this was trash," but then it's
yeah. And those are the ones that typically end up being like their number ones.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many number one songs have came from the trash can, basically.
Swear, it blows my mind. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Kelly. I think it was Kelly Clark. It was somebody that they were talking about. They had the album complete, and they had thrown a song away, and somebody grabbed it and looked at it, and they were like, "No, this is a song," and it turned out being the biggest one off the album. I got us to, yeah. So that's the moral of that story, like don't throw, and I don't throw nothing away. Like this sucker here, like even right there, look at all that, like all these, like even
you look like me taking notes.
You never know. I always have a little sticky pad.
Oh yeah. You never know as a songwriter, as a singer, you never know when some phrase is just going to be like, hey, I can make a song out of that. It's like I was interviewing the other night, Kaylee and Luke, and they have a song out. Forgive me, guys, if y'all are watching. It's just totally blanked on me right now what the name of the song is, but it's talking about the way I interpreted it was, and there's so many different ways you can interpret it, but like I took it as, because I said to them, I was like, if this was a couple going through troubles and they were divorcing, because a line in the song says, I get the bar, or you get the bar, something about the bar. It's a bar song. You get the bar. And I was like, yeah, I could see, a husband and wife getting into it and one saying to the other, yeah, you can have the kids, I'll take the bar. And they're like, oh my God, why didn't we put that line in there? And I'm like,
that's clever.
Because I thought of it.
That's all right.
I was like, get me up for the sequel. I'll write with you. But yeah, I mean, you think about that saying, that is such a country say. You could hear anybody saying that, not necessarily country, but you could hear anybody saying that, kids are getting on your nerves and you just, tell your significant other, you take the kids, I'll keep the bar. But I was like, so you never know what's going to come out of your mouth that turns into a song, or you hear from somebody else.
Or like a moment, because some of the best country songs came from heartache.
Sadly, yeah.
And then some of the ones that I'm about to release, they're going to probably crush people's feelings, but they came from a place where I was heartbroken at the time. And whether it be a significant other or family, hearts are broken, and that's generally speaking, And I like telling stories, and I write from the heart. And sometimes I write from other people's perspective, like friends and even strangers I see or I'll overhear, and I'm like, I know what you're going through, and I now write about it, because I feel like that's the songs that we as humans we relate to. It's something that we can. And I that's my favorite singers. I love Carrie Underwood. She's one of my absolute favorite artists. And there ain't one song, never ever in her life since she won that American Idol, that she's recorded, I have not felt her emotions, because she picks songs and she writes with her team so that she delivers that emotional heart, that she pulls your heartstrings. And do it. She's going to do it. It's going to be either up here, we're high, or she's going to drop you down low and she's like, we're spinning bottles now, but not the spinning bottles you used to spin.
Right.
Who's going to recover here, and where are we going? Oh,
yeah. I love that song. Love that song with that.
That's one of the songs I'm like, man, if I could have been a songwriter back then and found this, what? Gold mine.
Exactly. But that's, that is what makes country music is telling a story.
Absolutely.
It is telling a story, because I don't know, every song that I hear, I like truly listen to the lyrics.
Me too.
because I want to figure out what that singer's trying to tell me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's crazy because I might take it one way, you might take it another way, and, you know, somebody else might take it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
There's always like, it seems like several different interpretations to a song.
Yes, absolutely.
But as long as you're getting the gist of the story,
yeah,
you know, that's what's important. And it's always a story.
And you know what? That's
about something.
What you just said. That's a point. Like, and I don't have no formal songwriting experience. Like I haven't lived in Nashville. I haven't written with many people. But one of the things I love about country music is the way that you think the story's going to end doesn't always. And so that's what's so clever about country music, because you really have to focus, because when the bridge comes, where you end is not where you expect.
Right.
And those are the most clever songs to me that have that.
Oh, I didn't see that coming moment. Yeah.
Oh, they were going to be together. No,
yeah.
Be.
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't always work out that way.
It's wild, right? That's why some of my favorites. And I'm a huge fan of 90s country music. That's why I live on Saturdays. I'm always doing a country artist from the 90s, because that they still relate. I relate to their music even now, like Keith Urban and Kenny Chesney, and even Tim's got a new album out, and they're all starting to bring new albums out, and I love it. But I'm like, y'all's OG material, boys. What? I was a little boy. I don't even know what love is, but I'm probably hurting. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh wow. Yeah, I definitely like older country.
Yeah, classic.
Probably more than I do the newer stuff.
Mm.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the new stuff too. I mean, I will evolve with music, and that's fine. Yeah. But there's nothing like some Hank Williams Jr.
Oh.
Some Tanya Tucker.
Tanya.
You know, yeah. I'm old school.
That's on too, though. Like my mom and my papa Bill, like he was, and like that's why every show, like I'm gigging tomorrow night, and every show I end with Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bay. I grew up on. That's why I call myself country soul. I am country soul, because around Otis Redding, Purse Sledge, like my papa would be out there in the shed.
Yes.
I would sing along with him, and it's part of my fabric, you know. And so to do country music, because I'm gonna give this a shot, but I got to bring in my soulfulness, because I can't leave that behind. And plus, my papa, when he heard me sing, he was like, "Boy, I knew it. I knew it." And I'm like, "Yeah," because I would sit out.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, isn't it crazy how you get it? It's those formative years when you're younger. Most of the time spending with your grandparents. If you're so blessed to do that. I mean, I was so blessed to be able to do that. That you get, I don't know how to try to say what I'm thinking here, but things are just instilled at you at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, values and what you want to do from your family.
Yeah.
And that it sticks to you, and it comes out in whatever you do as an adult.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think that's really who I am as a person, you know, because I'm in a profession where it's like dog eat dog. I mean, it's ruthless, but I never allow my moral compass to go too far. For me, it's not about winning. It's never about that. It's like, because I'm a discrimination attorney, so I represent someone that has been wronged. Whether they were or were not, that's not for me. They need their day in court. And so for me, it's like having that moral compass. I got that from growing up around my grandparents. My grandma Beck is my heart, and my grandma Eula was, and I lost her a few years ago, and my papa June. And just like that was my childhood.
Yeah.
You know, when I would wake up, I would run over there to their house. And when I get off the bus, I'd come to my other grandma. I literally was a field apart from both grandparents.
Oh man, that's growing up right there. That's awesome.
And honestly, growing up, I didn't realize it until I got out how lucky I was to have both grandparents, one at the back doorsteps and one at the front. And that was my whole childhood until I was 18 and left for college.
You know, there's a lot of people in Pembroke that live like that.
And it's, yeah, and they don't realize they probably won't, because I didn't realize it until I left, how beautiful it is. And it's something special that not many people get. It's,
Oh yeah, because I remember where my great grandmother lived. Here's her house. The house right beside there, my mom lived in with her parents, and then the house right next door was my Aunt Claire and Uncle Lee, which was my grandma's sister and brother-in-law.
that is so
So it was like, great grandma lived here, my grandma lived here, and then my aunt lived here. And my mom would just be like back and forth between the two, who's going to spoil her the most. And because, she was the first grandchild. And so the first niece, I think, to my aunt and uncle. And so, she could just go wherever. She run all over Pembroke being spoiled rotten. That's her problem now. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't have that anymore, that family closeness.
Yeah.
And that was truly something special. And like you say, I don't think you realize it until you don't have that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, because like for me, I wouldn't be doing music if it wasn't for my community, my upbringing. Because like I do, like it started at church and
oh yeah,
just grew like outlets to go sing and cover. Back then I didn't even know it was a cover song. I was just like, I love singing Tim McGraw. And so I would just go out and sing Tim McGraw. And that's kind of where my passion grew. And people are like, oh, you can sing, keep doing that. And now that I'm now writing my own music and I'm getting to put my own music out there, it's just it's almost surreal and it's crazy. I keep telling my mom, this is crazy, and she's like, no, it's not. I mean, I knew you could do it, but I'm like, but it is to me because I never thought it would happen. And it just gives me a drive that I didn't realize I had. Honestly, that affirmation when I went down to record my EP that's about to come out. My singles, just being with that producer session band and just hearing their comments, it instilled the drive that was already there. But
just reinforce what you were feeling and thinking, and you were hoping somebody else was.
Someone, I'm like, I can't be crazy, right, guys? And they're like, you're good. And now I'm like, I got to get back there. There's just like this calling almost where.
Oh yeah.
Get back to Nashville and reside there and get to collab with other artists and get to know them. We can make some amazing music together, and I could just be happy, And not that I'm unhappy up here, but it is a different environment living in DC. Stuff and a different pace of life would be great.
Oh yeah. Well, our similarities didn't end in Pembroke because I actually grew up 45 miles south of DC.
What? Where?
In Warrington.
Yeah, I know exactly where that's at. Wow.
Yep, those were my formative years. Were in Warrington, and so yeah, that's home. That's home to me.
Do you still have family in Warrington?
Huh?
You still have family up here?
I have family not in Warrington. I have one of my best friends lives in Warrington, but I don't have any family in Warrington. But I have family in like the surrounding DC area and in Maryland.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maryland's where, yeah.
Well, actually, I take that back. My aunt does live in Warrington. Wow. Or it's more kind of like Gainesville.
Yeah.
Than Warrington.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I still have family scattered about through there. So I get home every now and then. But I get that it is so different. I mean, Washington, D.C. is great. It is a great place to visit. So much to do. But you could not pay me to live there. And
I'm there. Because when I leave this, and I told my mama, when I leave, I am not looking back.
Mm-mm. But, that's where my son is getting ready to go to college next month. And when he gets done, he wants to live in D.C.
Where's he going?
He's going to UNC Charlotte.
Oh, okay. That's a really good school. Good for him.
Yeah, he's going there. And with what he wants to do, being in D.C. is a good place.
Yeah.
So, but he wants to be in the city. He's like ecstatic to move to Charlotte and be in the city. Because where we live, we're like in the middle of nowhere.
That's going to be a real city experience too, boy.
Oh, yeah. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. But him and his one of his friends went the other day just to like explore around and stuff, and he's starting to job hunt there. And he was in heaven. I mean, he was loving it. So yeah, it's crazy how different places just pull at you and you like want to be there. You just feel like that's the place for you.
Yeah. And you know what?
So yeah.
Because when I first came to DC, I was a first year law student. Yeah. And I got an internship with this program called Native American, Native American Students with the Government, you know. WINS, Washington Internships for Native Students. I don't think they still do it. But that's
Cool.
DC, and I worked with the federal agency. And I remember working that summer, and I was like, I gotta be here when I graduate from law school. I gotta be here. And that's the same affinity and calling I have now in Nashville.
Yeah.
It was my first time going, and I went to record these 5 songs, and there was just something clicked, or I don't know, my heart had this feel like, and I have not stopped thinking about it, and I'm doing everything proactively to get there, because I said
that's when you know it's right.
Yeah. And that's my heart telling me, like, you gotta do it. You gotta give yourself a chance. And all artists, even Tim McGraw, even Faith, when they left, and even Trisha Yearwood, they're like, I don't even have a job. I'll be a secretary. I'll write until I'm discovered. And, I told my mom, I'm working up here as an attorney. Ain't no music up here for me to do. Like,
Right.
Country artist. I need to be there in the hustle and bustle and hanging out and going to watch other people gig. And they could like,
yeah.
You want a gig? Yeah, I want a gig. So like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Like your son going off to college, he needs that experience, like the big city feel, and he's going to enjoy it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Not want to do it after he finishes college. He may want to come up here to DC and really do it.
Oh, yeah. He will thrive. I don't worry about that at all. I know he's like all of my children, I've known that like, okay, this one's going to leave and they're not ever going to come back because that's just the way it's going to be. Yeah. This one is not going to venture too far from home. I just like all of my kids, they're all totally different. But Zachary will be the same as his older sister. When he leaves, he's not coming back. I mean, he'll come home to visit, but he's not coming back. When he gets a little touch of that city life, that's it. He's gone.
Yep.
He's gone. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. You have to go after, no matter who you are, you have to go after what your heart feels. What you feel in your heart is right for you, and for everybody, it's different. Mm-hmm. And, if you are feeling that calling to Nashville, that's where you need to be to make your dreams come true, shoot, go for it.
I am. Yeah.
And you're actually blessed though, because you can go there and be an attorney.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go and slave, being a server or, and did I lose you?
Take my phone. I should be here.
Yeah, I hear you. I just don't see you.
What's going on?
What happened?
Hold on a second. Watch it. Oh, memento. Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's okay. All right. While you're trying to figure that out, I'm going to play your song so people can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's play this. It's not sounding good off this phone. Let me do my other phone, folks. That song just doesn't sound good off of that one.
Yeah, what happened? My cam is just randomly less. Hold on. I think
All right, people, this is called Tuck Away My Heart, and it is on Spotify. I'm going to see how well this will play off my phone. It was magic, the moment
we first met. So many feelings my heart just can't forget. Caught up in your beautiful smile with just one look. It felt like a moment from a childhood storybook. And my love for you grew with time as I tried to trust you with this heart of mine. Took away my heart, make sure it doesn't break. Took away my heart, it can't take another heartache. Took away my heart, it'll be forever true. Took away my heart, 'cause all my trust is in you. This love I feel for you is something pure and new. When I'm with you, baby, I know there's no doubt it's true. Your heart is a special place where I find my peace. And looking into your eyes, it brings my soul release. Because of you, I believe in love again. You brought life back to a heart that was dim. Took away my heart, make sure it doesn't break. Took away my heart, it can't take another heartache. Took away my heart, it'll be forever true. Took away my heart, all my trust is in you. Before you, I didn't know my own self. Tired of pretending, I put my love back on the shelf. You help me see that you're just what I need. But I've been hurt before, so I'm begging you, please. Took away my heart, make sure it doesn't break. Took away my heart, I can't take another heartache. Took away my heart, it'll be forever true. Took away my heart, all my trust is in you. Took away my heart, all my trust is in you.
That is beautiful.
Thank you. So,
Beautiful. I love it. All right. So, was that written? Was the inspiration for that from someone or someplace? I
not
can take it either way.
well. I mean, yeah, because it's double. But I don't think it's about anyone because I had to go back in my songbook to remember the day, and I was down home for Thanksgiving, sitting at the table, and it was craziness going on in the house, and I was like, I'm gonna just go over here and write, and I wrote that song. Yeah, so I mean, but it, and also when I look back over it and Adam and I edited it a bit, the bones was there and we just added the meat to it because I've been through heartbreak. He had been through.
Oh, yeah.
We all been through heartbreak. We all have heartache. And so I wanted it to be a song that, inspired, but, allowed you to overcome. Like someone could hear it and say, you know what? You're all right. I'm going to find it one day. And until then, I'm going to tuck my heart away and I ain't going to let anybody pry on me and prey on me, not pry, prey on me and take advantage of me. And I think that's what we really were aiming to do. And end of it gives some closure. And I'm it's crazy because of all the songs I had back then. probably had written about maybe 50 songs. And my vocal coach was like, pick one song because I'm going to make you go record it. Because I'd never recorded and I hadn't even planned on doing that. I just wanted to sing again. And she's like, you're going to record a song. And that was the one that we both agreed on. She's like, this is it. And that started it. And the rest is history. I have 5 songs. They're brand new and they're amazing. One of them's about our home state.
Awesome.
Carolina's going to be super excited on my second single release. The first one's coming out on my mama's birthday.
Oh,
yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. We're doing a special shirt for the release, a special shirt on my merchandise. Because my website's going live in about probably 2 weeks. And so we're going to do a shirt just for my debut single from the EP coming out. And that's on my mama's birthday. And it's going to have colors that correlate with the song and what I'm saying in the song. And it's upbeat, very vibrant, the same vibe that you're getting from Tuck Away My Heart, but no heartbroken. You're not going to be heartbroken. You're going to be, I want to get up and dance. I love you. Let's dance, man. So
that's awesome. Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
I'm so excited to release all of them. And also a ton of other music I have. I keep writing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I sit down and I'm like, I'm going to write a song today for Carrie Underwood. Because you never know what could happen,
Yeah, you never know.
And that's
you
what
never know.
I
can't wait to hear it. I'm excited to hear what you've got coming. I love the song that you have out. And it's crazy because I said, you could take that song 2 different ways. You could have it be about somebody or some place. And I'm just hearing like Nashville's pulling on your heart, and you could almost be, that's the place it could be about.
And it probably was before I even knew it, because that's how
like
inspiration comes.
Like subconsciously.
Yeah. That's wild that you say that, because that's what me and my mom were talking about earlier. Some of the stories that I've been telling in my song. She's like, that's because that's where you got to get to Nashville. Like, I know I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. But because I didn't even think of that side of that song.
See, other people take different meaning. It's crazy how, the songwriter always has, something in mind when they're writing the song.
Yeah.
But then somebody else could actually take it a completely different way.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I do that all the time. I really do. And then I go, you can go find out what the songwriter was thinking. I'm like, I didn't get that, but that's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That happens a lot. And I mean, I love doing that. I love like thinking, what am I taking from this song, and then find out what the writer had in mind.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I can tell you're you're connoisseur of music. You just.
Oh, I love it.
Comes across.
Love it. And I actually, country is my favorite, but I love all genres of music except can't do classical, opera.
Oh.
No. Can't go there. No elevator music for me. But I love country, bluegrass, rock, especially classic rock, the 80s rock.
Oh,
I mean, that's what I grew up on.
That was my dad. My dad is a big time rock and roller. Where is he at? Carl, I hope you're watching this. I'm talking about big time. And so I grew up, I had no other choice, because he would go out the barn after work and blast it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, like me growing up, my dad listened to bluegrass all the time. And my mom listened to like Commodores, Temptations, beach music, So, of course, I hated both. Hated both. And me and my sister both, we, at that time, we were 70s, 80s kids, teenagers in the 80s. So we were into the classic rock at that point. So anything other than that wasn't happening. And, we'd try to turn it on the radio in the car, and Dad turn it to bluegrass. Mom turn it to beach music. And I was like, I can't have none of it. But I'm so glad that they did that when we were younger, because now I appreciate all music.
That's see, ain't that
And
crazy?
like, I love bluegrass now. I love 60s and beach music. I love it. Give me some Temptations, Commodores any day.
That's
And then on the flip side, give me some Ricky Skaggs any day. And then anywhere in between.
yep.
You know, and I love hip hop. I love, so I love it. All of it.
And I just got into recently in electronic type music.
Yeah, that's getting really, really popular.
Yeah, because there's this artist in country music. His name's Fillmore, and
Oh, yeah.
he's the one I started reading about his story, and I was like, oh, he does have undertones of electronica, and so I've been listening to artists. I'm like, this is clever. I'm going to keep that in the back pocket just in case. I have a song.
It's
fine.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of recognition for that.
He's really good. I like what he's done with his style. He's like, he wanted to do R&B, but he loved country. Like, that's why I'm country soul, because I grew up on soul music, but I've always been a country singer since and so he's married those loves, and that's just so beautiful because it creates a new sound and a new style.
Yeah.
Just constantly recreates our music, because country music is always going to be around, and we just got to learn other ways. Like, how do you tell it? What's the new way to tell this story? Like you just said, that you got something totally different from the song that I wrote and put out that I did, and that's the beauty of country music, is storytelling and what it compels us to feel, and that's why I love being a country singer, because of that.
Exactly, that's right. Can you see the comments?
Oh no.
Oh, there's somebody named Andrew Williams on that said, "Hey, Roger."
Oh, hey, Andrew. That's my buddy. He's an amazing guitar player.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so when you go out playing gigs, you said you've got one tomorrow night. Do you play your music or mostly covers?
Mostly covers, because, Tuck Away My Heart's my first OG piece, and these 5 coming out, I'll be able to do those. But I just play mainly covers. I always do Tuck Away My Heart. And then when I get new music, I, of course, bring them into the fold. But I just artists that they inspire me. I do a lot of Carrie Underwood. I do a lot of Luke. I do a lot of Chris Stapleton. I do a lot of Tim and Kenny. Artists that I admire, but I know they're in my wheelhouse, because I'm not going to sing something I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
Gig. And I just started getting into Thomas Rhett stuff. I like Thomas Rhett. He's a clever writer. He's got a pop country voice that I love it. I love the vibe. So I'm songs, and Andrew and I are actually working on a song we're going to cover together of Thomas.
That's cool. Yeah, I like Thomas Rhett. He's good too. You've named so many of my favorites. Like, everybody you named, they're definitely on my favorites list. Huge Tim McGraw fan.
Dude, my first concert was Brooks and Dunn.
They're great.
They are amazing. And my second was I saw Tim, and I was like, boy, if I ever get a chance to perform, that one can put on the show.
Oh yeah,
I
agree.
He gets it. He gets it. And I've seen him 3 times, and that boy, he can put on a show.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. So, would he be your dream collaboration if you could collaborate with somebody? Is that who?
Yeah, it would be Kenny. It would definitely be Kenny. Current, like he's my favorite OG 90s. But if I could collaborate with Carrie Underwood and do a duet, and I've written a few for us, that would be like heaven. I couldn't explain how beautiful that, because I can harmonize with her. I know it.
Oh, sounds like you've been practicing.
I've been practicing. What happens? Like, I listen to her sing Melly, and I'm like, don't worry about it. I got this harmony. It's stacked. We're good.
Be like, don't worry, Carrie. I'm not a stalker. I'm not crazy. I just think we sound beautiful together.
Yeah, and I want to sing with her, because she's a special talent.
She is very talented. I took, and I can't believe it was my first time seeing her last year. Zachary, our youngest son, he is so hard to buy for. So every Christmas I struggle.
Yeah.
What do I buy this kid for Christmas? Well, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, I knew Carrie was doing her 360 tour.
I win.
And I was like, that's what I get him. we're going to go see Carrie. So he's not really into country music that much, but he loves Carrie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so anyway, me and him went to see her in concert last year. I mean, talk about having to wait on your Christmas present. Gave it to him for Christmas, and he had to wait till May to go to the concert.
It was worth it, though. That was
Oh, yeah, it was definitely worth it. And so we went and saw her in Greensboro, and her stage setup for that concert was unreal.
Yeah, I was blown, and I'm hard.
Did you go see it?
I did up here in DC. Yeah,
it was crazy, wasn't it?
I've never seen. I mean, honestly, and I'm not talking about the CMAs and stuff, but she really was the entertainer of the year. I mean, hands down, because like she had Maddie.
That stage setup was unfreaking real.
That stage, I mean, I'm talking. She used all of it.
It was in the shape of an eye. Did you catch that?
I mean, my level of, I was like, this woman is just, it was so.
Blew me away. And Maddie and Tay was great.
Yeah, and what is the trio that before them? Because I didn't get to see them.
Runaway June.
Yeah, Maddie and
they were good too.
They were all. And what I love about Carrie, because I went into employment discrimination because I knew that women were not represented in the work field, workforce. So I love Carrie because she's about women's empowerment, and she had a tour that was nothing but bangers, like straight up hitters. And I mean, when you went to that concert, if you didn't have a good time, something's wrong with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was an experience. I loved every moment of it. I cried, I laughed, I got angry because when she was singing, I'm like, let's go get them.
It was amazing. It was really good. And I'm not sure about where you went and saw her at, but where we went, there was not like a bad seat.
Yeah, same thing in DC, Capital One Arena,
oh yeah, I've been there. Yeah, you can't really, when you have a 360 stage, you can't really have a bad seat.
And you're very more immersed and knowledgeable. Is that a thing? Like 360 stage? Is that a thing? I didn't think so. That was wild.
No, I've not known anybody else to ever do it. I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't been done. It probably has been, but and in fact, I know it has been done. I take that back. It has been done, but not lately in the country music industry.
Yeah.
But that was her whole premise of her tour.
Yeah.
Was that, the cry pretty. And so there's, why the eye shape, and then the 360. Because she said, I'd read an article about it. She said she wanted everybody to have equal access.
That's amazing. I love her. She's such an amazing person.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to spend money to come see me. I want you to have the same visibility.
Right.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah, because you think about it, most concerts, if you're on this side or this side, one of the sides up close to the stage, well, you've got a great seat. Or down on the floor, you've got a great seat. But if you're way back here, your view is crap. And you end up watching them on the big screen more than you do in person. And then it takes a lot of that away. So I really loved the idea behind why she had the stage like that.
I didn't know that, and then now it makes sense, and it's very clever.
Yeah, awesome. Very. And it was. Now, I mean, of course, the higher up you got, the less your view was, as good if you were kind of down lower. But we were actually we weren't on the floor, which I would not have wanted to be on the floor. The way they had it set up at Greensboro, if you were on the floor, because her stage was up so high, if you were on the floor, you literally would have been like this all night.
Oh, yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. So I'm like, so glad we didn't get floor seats. So we weren't on like the first level where the seats go up. We were on the second one.
Oh,
about halfway on the second. And it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect. And we were a little bit to the left of center stage, but it really didn't matter because they used the whole stage.
Yeah, those girls were working out. And Carrie, I was like, yo, you're by yourself. And she was going and belting them notes because, Carrie hit a note.
Oh yeah, and they had just had a baby like what 3 months prior to the kickoff of the tour.
Yeah, that's
What?
amazing. I was like, and she did all that, man. Give her trophies.
I know, right?
Give her trophies now.
Yeah, really. Just like forget everybody else. Go ahead and give it to her. Just make it easy. Oh yeah, for sure. She's amazing. So okay, if your dream collaboration would be Kenny or Carrie.
Yeah.
If you could, if somebody just came up right now, if you had some magic button you could push, and they'd be like, "We want you to come open for us," who would it be?
Chris Stapleton. 110%.
Yeah.
I would probably pass out, and once they brought me back, revived me, I'd be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, really.
He is like, I idolize him as a male country artist. There's everything that he is, I aspire to be. Like the emotion, that feeling that he brings when he writes and when he sings. That's what I try to do. I cover a lot of stuff because he's one of my favorite artists. The way he writes and the way he sings with such conviction, you know.
Yeah,
he's one of my
he
favorites.
is crazy good.
He is, and it's insane. And for a while, it was insane. I didn't know about him until like 5 years ago. That's what's insane, because he said he had been hustling, bustling, and busting his butt forever and a day. You know,
but he was like this massive songwriter before he came out singing, and I mean, wrote some major hits.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he came out singing, in like that first year, he won all those crazy awards. And I was like, who is this dude that is winning all these awards? And I had no idea that he was like a songwriter previous.
Mm-hmm.
And well, then I was like, okay, well, that's why, you know, the industry like knows him, but we didn't.
I didn't.
But yeah, he's like crazy good.
That's the first time I heard about him. When you talking about when he won all them awards, I'm like, who is this guy? And how's he watching Grammys and all this? And then I listened to him like, oh, he's that dude.
Yeah.
I'm here for all this, man. Let me do a cover of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what he blew me away. I was like, wow. Because like at first I was mad. I was like, who is this nobody that's like sweeping the awards tonight? And then I realized he was not a nobody.
He's yeah. I saw him in concert 2 years ago, and
oh really?
He's probably, in my opinion, better in concert than he is on his tracks. I mean, for real, because man be taking some risks with his voice, and he hits it spot on live. I mean, he'll get into a song, and I'm like, is he gonna stop? When's that note in, dog?
Wow.
He's amazing.
I haven't seen him. I would love to see him in concert. That would be great.
Definitely do if you get a chance. He's worth every penny. He really is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. He is. I respect him so much as a songwriter. That's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. These people that it blows my mind. These people that have talent to write, sing, play an instrument, and I can't do none of it.
I'm just now learning to play this guitar, and that's a struggle bus, man. I
like,
guitar. I mean, I played trumpet all till I was like 19. So for like 14 years. So I started like when I was 7. Yeah, but this guitar, that's a hard one to get, man. There's so much going on, you know, and but everybody says once you get it, it locks, and so I'm waiting for that moment. But I keep practicing. Are
you teaching yourself or are you taking lessons?
I'm taking lessons. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a good thing when you put it. I mean, I'm just what I've heard. It'll help you with your songwriting.
That's the reason why I picked it up, because my vocal coach was like, you got to have an instrument. I suggested guitar, and I'm like, makes sense. And so, yeah, I've been doing it ever since. And even though I can't play completely yet, when I'm working on my chords, it does inspire the brain.
Yeah.
Outside the box. And I'm like, oh, that's a good sound. So, and I'm just ready to get to the point where I can play it like everybody I'm watching. So I just keep trying.
Yeah. Well, and even if you never play it like when you're doing gigs or something, you know, if you don't play it at that level, that okay. As long as if you can get it enough to where you can play it to write with.
That's what I want. Yeah, exactly. That's my thought. Yeah. You know, I would love to master it, but if not, the world hasn't ended.
or enough to, with your songs, when you do interviews like this, if someone wants you to play, you can at least play enough to be able to sing your song.
Exactly. And that's my goal, and
Yeah.
I've been talking about it. And so that's what we're going to do with my singers.
Oh, yeah. Because I've done a couple interviews before with people that didn't play instruments. And of course, they didn't want to sing because they didn't want to sing a cappella. Because I get why that would be scary.
I would sing a cappella though, because I was a music theater major.
Well, yeah. See?
So
yeah.
But there's something about having the guitar, just accompanying you. The vibe is different.
Yeah.
If someone can sing a cappella, it's nice to hear the guitar going along with the voice. It's just soothing.
I love to hear people sing a cappella though. I love that. There's something about that stripped down rawness.
Oh yeah.
Just their voice. Nothing else adding to it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because you can hear the ability in someone's voice when they're singing a cappella. You can hear all of it, the flaws and all that. What are their strengths?
Mm-hmm.
What we work on? Because when American Idol initially started, when Carrie won, that's all they had to do.
That's all you did. Yep.
You could not take an instrument in there.
Right.
So, and that was like, you either got it or you don't, because you cannot hide behind your guitar, your piano, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Beauty of acapella is like you can hear the ball in it. Like, what does the voice sound like?
Yep.
They have, and what can we bring out? Because for a lot of singers, if they listen to themselves a cappella, they're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. What if I did X? And if I took this note there? And that's where you really start exploring your voice. And I sing a cappella a lot. When I'm here by myself throughout the day, I very rarely play music. I just sing my favorite. I'm like, oh, I'm going to just try this with their song. And that's how my voice,
That works, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I love that. Just that stripped down version. I love hearing people do. But not that I don't appreciate the music as well. I do, but it's just something about sometimes just being able to hear that stripped down, just their voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not because I want to pick out their flaws. I just want to hear the pureness of their voice.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that.
I love an acoustic performance of like a big song that I may have loved, and then hear the acoustic. I'm like, what? That is amazing.
Oh yeah.
You just fall in love with the song all over again if it's done right.
Oh yeah. George Strait does that a lot now.
Yeah. George has got it. So he could do
my gosh. Yeah. He for real. For real. We could talk about our musical loves all night long. I'd never get tired of it. But you, my friend, are going to make it to Nashville. You just got to make that happen. And I cannot wait for your next single to come out 1 month from today.
That's right.
Well, that's going to be easy for me to remember.
Yes.
I will not forget that. We need to have you back on so we can,
that'd be great.
We can celebrate that release. Yeah. But it has been great having you on. It's been great talking to you.
This has been
love your story. Love where you're headed.
Thank you.
Good things are coming for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I thank you for this opportunity. I can't express that enough.
So glad to have you.
And it's just my flame just keeps on getting brighter. I'm just like, I got to get there, and this is reminding me. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. And I know some people that do some shows. We'll get you on some more.
You will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, people. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I hope you have enjoyed getting to know Roger and getting to hear his story a little bit. And this is Thursday. Do I have an interview tomorrow? I don't remember.
Yeah. I think somebody's releasing music tomorrow.
My day. Yeah, that's right. Because you switched with them. That's right. You did.
Oh, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for that release.
Yes. Diamonds and Whiskey tomorrow night at 6:00. And they'll be taking over the IG at 9 a.m. So yes, thank you, Roger, for reminding me of that. He was gracious enough to switch days with them because they have a release coming out tomorrow. So they wanted tomorrow as their day. Absolutely. So that is why he remembered. Another reason he's a great guy. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Come back tomorrow to watch another one. And y'all go follow Roger on IG, Facebook, Spotify. Please. Stream his song. It is wonderful. Hopefully you heard it a while ago. If not, go to Spotify or wherever you listen to music and download it. Peace out. Y'all have a great night.